This is our project on the Chick-Fil-A that is located on Park Ave in Worcester. My name is Peter Way.
I'm Nicholas DeGaris, and this is our presentation.
Yeah. Alright, so Peter Way here, and when we evaluated the Chick-Fil-A in Park Ave in Worcester, we noticed one major problem was the drive-thru. So the current layout of this drive-thru, it has 2 lanes the drivers go down. It has 2 separate ordering stations per lane, and after the customers order in their separate lane, there's a merge that happens very close to the ordering stations. And after they merge into one lane, they wrap around the side of the building, and then the customers pull up to the order window or the food window where they make their payment, and they get their food, and then they're free to drive off. So the major problems that this is having is there's some huge bottlenecks in this drive-through. One major bottleneck happens at this merge where you have 2 lanes of traffic merging into one, and there's really no visual controls at this merge. There's not much actually telling the drivers to merge and when to merge, so there's some confusion there, especially for new drivers who had never been to this drive-through before. Second major bottleneck happens at the driving window itself, because you go from serving 2 customers at a time at the dual ordering windows to then only being able to serve 1 customer at a time at the food window. And one other major delay we noticed is that after the customers order at the ordering stations, because the merge is so close to the ordering stations, there's not enough room for them to fully pull their cars ahead, and that doesn't allow the customer behind them to order immediately, because they're only able to pull about a half car length ahead. So there's a long period of a minute or more usually where the cars sit there half in the ordering station, half out, and they're not able to make their order.
In order to solve the disastrous drive-thru at the Chick-fil-A here in Worcester, we decided to look at more successful and efficient Chick-fil-A's across America and compare. We soon found out that other restaurants use a similar system, but have also implemented employees on the drive-thru route and take orders and payments to help speed up the process. By using this face-to-face ordering system, the drive-thru times at these locations are reduced dramatically. Our plan to reduce the time spent in line waiting for your food requires a 2-step process that requires a change in the layout and procedure of the Chick-fil-A here in Worcester. By moving the ordering stations back, customers waiting in line are able to move forward and clear the station so the next customer can order their meal. This is a current problem at the restaurant today, where customers have to wait for the car ahead to clear the ordering station before they can order. By eliminating this, in turn, it could solve the bottleneck that occurs at the merge. Another layout is to add another payment window. Right now there is currently only one at the Worcester location, but by opening a second, the flow of traffic and overall time of transactions would increase, benefiting customers. The last change of the layout would be to include a signal system that notifies which lane of the merge to move forward towards the payment window, thus eliminating traffic confusion and eventual buildup. This in turn would reduce the wait time and possible order confusion at the payment window. Regarding the process of employees at Chick-fil-A in Worcester, improvement is a necessity. Unlike some Chick-fil-A's around the country that have employees outside taking orders from customers face to face, the location in Worcester does not. If its customers had this type of service, the speed at which orders are placed as well as delivered, there would be little to no wait time as well as minimal line buildup. The last adjustment to the procedure would be to include transactions with the outside employees. If they were able to take orders as well as accept payment, then all that would be required is the food delivered to the customer by the employee whenever the kitchen finishes it. All procedures would only change if the existing layout was also changed and does not affect the operations. Within the restaurant, only the drive-thru.
Some pros of changing the layout will be reduced wait time for customers, as there'll be a lot less of these bottlenecks and delays. Customers will be able to go through much faster, and increase the visual controls will create less driving delays for drivers that aren't exactly sure what to do, especially those new drivers who aren't very comfortable with the drive-through yet. Customers will also be more likely to enter the line because they'll look and they'll see less cars. If you look at the line and you see 15 cars backed up, you say, I'll just go somewhere else because that's going to take too long. So when customers look and they see short lines, they say, yeah, this will be quick, and they jump in line and brings in more customers and more revenue for the restaurant. The procedure actually won't change much by changing the layout because it really won't change much inside the kitchen. The orders, or the people who take the orders and the people who make the food, nothing will really change for them. The only things that will really be changing is the customer's position in line, which won't change anything inside the actual restaurant. But a few cons of changing the layout include increased costs. It will just cost more to add things like the visual controls. It'll cost money to put in those signs and moving the serving stations back more. It will cost money to pull those up and move them and add the extra wiring to make that extra distance. And the other major con will be the lost time for the installation of those changes. Because for a long time, or however long it takes to make those changes, Chick-fil-A will have to close its drive-thru and won't be able to serve customers. And 60% of their proceeds come through the drive-thru. So that's a huge loss in drive-thru. I mean, some of those customers, yes, will still come into the restaurant, but quite a few of them go through the drive-thru is the only reason for them actually going to Chick-fil-A. Looking at pros and cons of changing the procedure, one pro will be, again, there'll be no bottlenecks as there will be no need for customers to merge as customer servers will be walking through the lines and taking orders and providing the food. So there'll be another benefit will be much shorter wait times as there won't be any delays or merges, things like that. Having actual employees working in the serving line will allow for orders to be taken faster and food to be brought out faster to the cars without having to wait in as many lines, and will create less backup. Another big benefit will be better personal service. Chick-fil-A takes a lot of pride in their personal service for their customers. For instance, the founder, he requires their employees to say "my pleasure" instead of "thank you" to customers, as he believes that's more polite and demonstrates better appreciation for the customers. So being able to give a more personal service by having actual people go up and talk to these customers would make making the procedural changes much more appealing to the Chick-fil-A franchise. Some cons, however, will be they will need to change the layout on top of changing the procedure, as you'll need to put in things such as sidewalks for the employees to walk on so they aren't simply walking in the road, which is a safety hazard, and you can't be having your employees doing that. You'll also need to put up things like roof and AC and heaters for your employees, as they'll be standing out there year-round in Worcester, which gets very hot in the summer and very cold in the winter and lots of snow and rain, and it wouldn't be ethical to leave your employees out there without any protection. And this will also require more training for the customers or for the employees, as it won't be their standard normal procedure at most fast food restaurants use. So it'll take some more time for these new employees to get used to it. And also you will need to employ more workers, as you will need, instead of one server answering one serving station, you'll need multiple employees walking around taking orders and delivering the food.
Our final thoughts: the only question that is necessary is if this proposal is possible. Yes, the proposal is possible, but with a serious amount of testing as well as verification from corporate at the Chick-fil-A company. Without known costs for the layout and the training required to ready the restaurant's staff, knowing if this would get approved is uncertain. What is certain is the fact that a Chick-fil-A with these services and layout happen to perform better and have a higher customer satisfaction than those that do not. By implementing this system here in Worcester, the hope is to not only benefit the customer, but also the restaurant and its employees. Thank you for watching our proposal video on the Chick-fil-A here in Worcester. We hope you enjoyed.